Sorry. I call this March 26th meeting of the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission to order. My name is Jim Bledsoe, and I am the chairman of the commission. At this time, I would ask that you please silence your phones, and if you must take a call, please step into the lobby. Thank you. To all the commissioners up here, you now have to use the little black box again. So turn it on and turn it off to speak. First off, I'd like to ask Mr. Walter Cook to come to the podium. Would you please stand as he leads our invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, please hear our prayers. As we go through this commission, let us be very mindful that the wildlife resources are yours, that you have vested it with us and given us the charge to conserve and enhance that resource. All those who participated in the proceedings of this meeting, may they do so in the interest of resource and serving the people of the great state of Tennessee. After we adjourn from the proceedings, dear Lord, please guide each and every one here home safely. In Christ's name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Hayes, would you please call the roll?
Chad Baker, Jim Bledsoe,
Here.
Harold Cannon, Jeff Cook,
Here.
Bill Cox,
Here.
Kurt Holbert,
Here.
Connie King, Jeff McMillan,
Here.
Jim Ripley,
Here.
Bill Swan,
Here.
Trey Teague,
Here.
David Watson,
Here.
Jamie Woodson. We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure all of you have had a chance to look over the minutes from the February 12th, 2015 meeting here in Nashville. If there are no additions or corrections, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Looking around the room, see we've got Mr. Ron Crabtree here and Mr. Boyd Barker from the Department of Ag. I appreciate y'all coming. There's a tablet being passed around the room. If you would, please sign it so we have a record of your attendance here today. If you are with a group or organization, please put that name down also. Thank you very much. Anyone in the crowd that wishes to address the commission today about a particular subject, I ask that you please wait till that subject comes up. I will then ask for your questions wait till the presenter has finished. Sorry. I will then ask for questions from the commission. Afterwards, I will ask for comments from the audience. At that time, please come to the microphone, state your name and group, and please address all your questions to either me or the chairman of that particular committee. Please do not engage any other member of the audience with questions. Thank you. If the subject matter you wish to discuss is not on the agenda, I ask that you please wait until the end of the meeting. I will ask if there is any other discussion, and you will have opportunity at that time. Thank you very much. Director Carter, do you have any announcements at this time?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anyone on the commission have any comments? If not, the first item on the agenda today, I'd like to recognize Mr. Ken Tarkington, Chief Administrative Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a presentation today, and in another capacity, I'm a member of an all-volunteer organization called Employer Support for Guard and the Reserve, or ESGR. It is a Department of Defense organization whose primary focus is supporting guardsmen and reservists and fostering positive communication between them and their civilian employer. Now, while the guardsmen and reservists are serving in uniform, they can nominate their employer where they feel their employer has gone above and has given them outstanding support during their military service, which is why we're here today. I'm also fortunate, we all are fortunate to have with us today to conduct the presentation Mr. Carl Lambert. Carl is the chairman, state chairman of the ESGR committee, and puts in many, many volunteer hours, many, many volunteer days in supporting guardsmen and reservists locally, throughout the state, and nationally in Washington, D.C. to further promulgate and foster good relationships with the states and the ESGR through the 50 states and the 4 territories. One thing I would like to say about Carl is retired federal employee. He was the chief managing administrator of one of the largest U.S. Army Reserve brigades in the inventory. He's also a retired U.S. Army Chief Warrant Officer 4. And I've had the distinct privilege of serving in uniform many years with Carl, and for the last 8 years serving on the state's ESGR committee with Carl. And we're certainly proud to have him with us today to present this award. Carl?
Thank you, Ken. It's an honor to be here, but everything I was going to say, he just said. So I have to try to think of something else to add to that, but ESGR is an all-volunteer organization. I say all-volunteer. There are 4 paid employees in the state of Tennessee. Neither of us are paid employees, so I just want to clarify that. But there's about 180 volunteers across the state of Tennessee, and we have 3 functional areas that we deal with. One is to recognize employers who go out of their way to support our guardsmen and reservists. Number 2 is to educate our guardsmen and reservists about the federal law use area that protects their job. And number 3 is there are a staff of highly trained individuals that mediate and work out problems that some of the employers may have with our Guard and Reserve. But what we love to do and what we get to do and enjoy the most is to come out and visit with employers who recognize the value that our guardsmen and reservists bring to the workplace. And in that, sometimes they're pulled away, they're gone away, and when they do that, a lot of other people have to fill in the gap and keep things going. Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency now has received many of these awards that we're going to give today because of the policies that we have in place to support our men and women who decide that they're going to spend their off time working with a guardsmen and as guardsmen and reservists in defending our country. So today I'm going to go ahead and talk about this, and I'm going to come down front here so I can present this award and shake hands. One of your employees, Victoria McDaniel, she kind of stands out in this crowd today with her outfit that she's wearing, and we asked her to wear this because we're not sure that a lot of you have seen her in uniform, and we know that she has another life outside TWRA, and you know that now as well. She's a member of the 230th Tennessee Army National Guard, and what she does is keeps helicopters flying. And I think Ed got to ride on one of those helicopters one time, and it worked really well, didn't it? Yes. And Ed also got to go on one of our events where we will take employers and supervisors and business owners on a military aircraft, take them to a training site, and let them observe what our guardsmen and reservists do when they're away from the workplace. And of course, some of the things he got to do on this last trip is not really what guardsmen and reservists do. He got to ride in a race car. I'm sure he told everyone about this, right? But anyway, we do appreciate what they do, but Victoria has recognized that her boss is very supportive of her as a National Guardsman, and she wanted to recognize him for doing this. And the tool that we have to do this is called the Patriotic Employer Award, and it can only be given once they were recommended by a guardsman and reservist. I can't do it, but they can, and that's what makes this more special, because his employee noticed and recognized the support and wanted them to be recognized in public. So at this point, Victoria, if you would come forward, please. I'd also like to have Mr. Rick Ferris, the HR Director, to come forward. Now I'm going to come down there. What I'm presenting is the Patriotic Employer Award. It reads, "The Office of the Secretary of Defense, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, recognizes Richard Ferris, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, as a patriotic employer for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom by supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve Force." And on behalf of all of our guards and reservists, I present this to you and say thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much. Photo op? Don't leave it. There's one more thing. With this award comes a very special lapel pin. It has the American flag and the ESGR flag, and underneath is the word Patriot. And I want to give this to you, Victoria. You can pin this on him and don't stick it. Okay? One more thing we've got to do here, then I will be done and I will get out of your way. This is called a statement of support for the Guard and Reserve, and I want to ask Ed if you would come as the Executive Director to sign this. Now, this does not sign you up for the military. This is a non-binding document. It just basically says that this is an organization that supports our Guardsmen and Reservists. Let me read you the 4 bullets at the bottom real quick. Therefore, we join other employers in pledging that we fully recognize, honor, and enforce the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, it's a federal law. We will provide our managers and supervisors with the tools they need to effectively manage those employees who serve in the Guard and Reserve. We appreciate the values, leadership, and unique skills service members bring to the workforce, and will encourage opportunities to employ guardsmen, reservists, and veterans. And we will continue to recognize and support our country's service members and their families in peace, in crisis, and in war. If you would sign there and date it there, I'll even let you keep that pen. Okay, you hang on the pen just for a second. Let's see if I can get this in here. Sometimes this is a lot of feet in itself. It's going very well, but all right, if you would hold this and you stand here by Victoria, we can get Ken. Come up here. I forgot to mention also, Ken is our Public Affairs Director, and he is also last year's Volunteer of the Year for employer support for public affairs for the entire nation. So, that's pretty cool.